Hey guys, welcome back to another 2 cents video. One of those quick, short little, just want to throw something out there. Um, as you're probably already aware with the news, Canada's going to go into another lockdown, and I do not believe it's going to have any of the effect that people might think it's going to have, because it's not going to do anything. It's not going to do anything. It's just another step down, if you will. I'll get into this in a second. Um, yeah, it's starting to look a lot like martial law. Now I know that is not by definition politically correct by any stretch of the imagination, but the effects are still going to be the same. You know, it's pretty expensive to send out the military, to send out the police. It's an extreme way to get the results that they need to be done when they don't need to do that because that would be too far and too fast. They're going to use fines, and they're going to basically financially bully anybody into staying indoors or shutting down their business or whatever, because that's they can do that. So anybody out there right now, like there's no gatherings. It it's basically stay at home somehow and exist. I don't know how they're gonna do it this time, but it is what it is. Okay, so what I want to do with this, or why I put this here, is this is just a general psychology thing. It can work in many different areas. But if you want to change something, it's a lot easier to take little steps than it is to go full tilt and make a big change or something like that. Because people resist change quite easily. We are, by nature, we need some conservative ability so we can predict our future well enough to provide, to provide for ourselves in a sense. Like we've got kids or whatever, we need stability. But I've been watching this for decades. They've been taking things away from us, and they've been doing it in such a way where in some level it kind of makes sense. Because if they take a step down, if there's enough support for it, if there's enough due cause for it, it's like, okay, that makes sense. Let's do that, but we'll put it back into the future. But usually 9 times out of 10, that's never the case. Taxes is a really good example. They need to tax something for some reason, and okay, maybe it has a good purpose for it at that time. But very rarely, if at all, do those taxes get taken away. And usually by then, we're already used to it. We can complain about it, but by then it wasn't too far, it wasn't too fast, and our natural ability to want to resist and fight it is just, whatever. We don't do it. So what I'm seeing here with our rights, with COVID, like I know I've made a mentioning in this in other videos, so I don't want to hash it out too deeply, but I believe we're going to go into an authoritarian economy. I believe that, like we're going to have our own culture around it, but I think communism's going to win because of it just makes sense from a mathematical point of view. In any case, though, to transition into that with the least amount of resistance, they have to do it very slowly. And I think with the COVID, there's they're using that to try to speed things up, because there's a lot of people that are for wearing masks and shutting down businesses and putting people out on the streets and deleting retirements. Like there's a lot of damages that are going on that just some people just don't see at all. They don't see the big picture. Like, don't get me wrong. Well, yeah, it's not, don't get me wrong. It's, COVID is a bit of a myth. I believe that maybe at one point there could very well be in a lab or in a situation that COVID-19 is a thing, and it may have even gotten out there, but the data does not support anything more than it's just another variation of the common cold. And yes, there are certain people in our society that don't have good health, that are on the aging side of things, that it sucks, but like, I think a lot of people get the idea where, like, food chain, we're at the top, and technically it's a circle, and what's above us is the microbe worlds. Microbes, if you study history, microbes by far has killed more people than people have killed people, and it has shaped our history in ways that it's pretty interesting stuff if you look into it. But anyway, microbes are the in the circle of things. There are next things. So I get why we are very resilient and very fearful of it, because the things that we cannot see can do so much damage, and that's why we're like, okay, let's shut everything down, because this could be potentially a doomsday virus. But realistically, data doesn't support it. But the narrative that's being played out by the media and our politicians supports another narrative, and that is a collapsing economy. But in any case, that's not what this is about. And let's get back on track here. I want to make a bit of a prediction. I think that what's going to happen is we're going to go through a second lockdown. It'll be released before the holidays, so that way, we, like, for many people, we don't go too far, so people can try to make the most of their Christmas holidays without the, oh man, but it'll come back. It'll probably come back, not like right away. I would imagine a month or two after, like maybe February, maybe March kind of thing. And we'll be back into a third round. And I think what I want you guys to be trying to pay attention for is, once we, like, for each lockdown that we go through, each one you're going to find is going to be like, it's going to be harder for people, even harder for people. Like, the first lockdown was a vacation. Remember the memes? Oh yeah, just sit home and, you can save the planet by watching TV. Well, the second round, it's going to be a lot harder. The third round's going to be even harder yet. So in any case, though, before this gets too rambly, yeah, I'm working on another project here, so I don't know if I'll have that shot today because I'm doing this now, but this one's going to be about equality and how we can get, it's not about equality, it's about equity, and how we can get equity. It's an introduction to it. There are some more advanced things that I will not have in there that I need to wait for the timing for. But anyway, I'll address all that into the next video. So look forward to that one at some point. Other than that, if I were to sarcastically say, stay uninformed, don't wear your coats, isolate yourself, watch plenty of media, and stay in fear. Till then, have yourself a good one.